What's going on, everybody? Sean Ross here, and welcome back to the channel, guys, where I am about to be diving into episode 15 for season 3 of My Hero Academia, episode 53 in total, and this episode is going to be the start of the exam. The test is about to begin, the provisional license exam, and I am just excited to meet the new characters, getting to see the requirements for this provisional license exam, but also just getting to see Class 1A back in action once again. Let's kick it off, and hopefully we will get to see them use their ultimate moves within this exam, because within last week's episode, we saw Class 1A prepping 10 days prior before the start of this exam. They were developing their quirks and their ultimate moves, and we got to see some ultimate moves coming from Tokoyami, from Ashido, from Bakugo, and of course from Deku at the very end of the episode, his new shoot style technique, the anime premiere of Deku finally using his legs. I love the concept too, just the memes that were coming out of that when people were saying, well, if Deku can't break his arms, might as well break his legs. But that was just a really awesome moment, getting to see him jump up and save All Might from the falling debris. But that flashback sequence of All Might thinking back to the frail and timid Deku back in episode 1, and that smile comes over his face because he sees how far Deku has come. Beautiful moment at the ending of the episode, but personally for me, it was getting to see Hatsume Mei back into the story, her interacting with Deku, Ochako, and Ida, just the chaos that is Hatsume Mei was great to see, and of course Ochako getting a little bit jealous of watching Hatsume feeling up Deku's body. So really enjoyable episode last week, but I'm just very excited to dive into episode 15. But before we do that, guys, check the links down below to Crunchyroll, Funimation, and to Verve to check out the official release and to support the series. But with all that being said, guys, let's dive in. We have episode 15, 53 in total for season 3 of My Hero Academia, entitled The Test. Let's go. Yes, a little bit more Hatsume. I love Hatsume.
やっぱり飯田君のようなスピード系ヒーローの介護官にならざるを得ないわけですよ。確かに。This
is why Mei is such a great character. She is a good support to the heroes. She's smart and she understands the mechanics of costumes, using their quirks involved. Hatsume is just the best. And Ochako is not being included. She feels a little bit jealous, I think, right now. Yep, saved All Might. Hiroshima and Denki got some upgrades. Now Deku has braces on his arms and iron soles for his feet. I don't know, Deku. Shoot style is a pretty good ultimate move. Listen to All Might. Class B! We got Kendo and Monoma. But of course Monoma would have a tuxedo type outfit for his hero costume. Nothing eccentric, please. 同校生徒での潰し合いを避けるため、どの学校でも時期や場所を分けて受験させるのがセオリー。That makes sense. And Monoma's like relieved. I love how they make fun of his mental state. Ah, we get to see our class 1 ladies hanging out. Still needs to work a few things out. What would Toru's ultimate move be? More invisibility? She's spaced out right here.
最近無駄に心がざわつくんが多くてね。恋だ！
Ashido is quick to pick it up. And she's trying to avoid it altogether. That's adorable. And she's making herself float by touching herself. Oh, she sees Deku outside. And they're playing the romanticized music with the sparkles. And he's like out there training, he's got his notebook ready. Oh man. Get a girl to look at you like Ochiko looks at Deku. Here we go, the Dagobah Arena. Provisional license exam about to begin. Oh, I am excited. Do or do not, there is no try, Mineta. Denki, I'll become a chick. Take that out of context. And here he is. Our hot-blooded boy from Shiketsu, Inasa. This man has got too much energy. And he just slammed his head on the ground. Yeah, he's a first year. And he was able to get through recommendations to UA, but turned it down. Yeah, he's like Todoroki Momo, who also got in on recommendation. Got strong abilities. Yes! Miss Joke! Oh, Aizawa's worst nightmare has come. I have waited for this interaction, the dynamic, to be animated. Oh, they're adding this in. They're actually showing us how her quirk works. Very nice touch, Bones. If you marry me, then we'll make a happy family. Oh, here's Shindo. He seems rather friendly. They added in the sparkles. Oh, Bakugo ain't gonna have this. Exactly. Ooh. And then we have Android 17 and Saitama's love child. Sorry, Mineta. They do not want your autograph. Yeah, you're like celebrities here. What didn't you tell them, Aizawa? Miss Joke is not laughing at that. And we have a lot of people taking the exam. This room is filled. I forgot about Mira. Oh, the most relatable character of this series. He is constantly tired. And I like the voice actor for him. He just sounds exhausted. 1,540 examinees are taking this exam. Whew. Test on his speed. 100 people will pass the first round. Wow, they are whittling the numbers down first round very quickly. They'll put 3 targets on their body. And they have to be exposed. You can't hide them. Yeah, can't put them under your feet or armpits. And you will be handed 6 of balls to throw at these targets. And you're out. See, like that right there is interesting. The last person to get the last target will get the point. That makes this extremely hard. Yeah, you're just given exact enough balls to pass. You're gonna have to swoop in at the last minute and steal targets away from people. This is gonna get competitive. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. The whole arena opening up. Look how big this area is. This puts the USJ to shame. Oh, Miss Joke. I'm gonna be loving this dynamic between these two. Yeah, he usually expels the whole class. Go out with me. Shut up. Yeah, Bakugo ain't gonna work together. Bakugo's gone. Hiroshima's gone. Todoroki's gone as well. It's 3 down right there. Down to 17. Here we go. Everyone's gonna gang up on UA. There they go. The crushing of UA. The UA crush. Not anymore. He doesn't injure himself as much anymore. Kick those balls out of here. Way to go, Deku. Yeah, it wouldn't change the fact that it would still happen. Everyone's doing their ultimate moves, working together. This is cool. UA ain't gonna be some pushovers. Yeah, you gotta work when you have the disadvantage. Sometimes that happens as a hero. Oh man, I am excited for this arc. Very nice group shot right there. And that is the start of the provisional license exam. The UA crushing has begun. Oh man. Bones is setting up this arc really nice. This is going to be a lot of fun. We already got introduced to a lot of new characters. And the main question you have to think about going into this exam, will every single student from Class 1A be able to pass? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the start of the provisional license exam. I am very excited for this fun arc that we will be going on. And it's just nice to see Class 1A back in action, working together, now using their newly created ultimate moves to give them an advantage in going up against all of these new characters that go to these new schools that we have not heard about up until this very episode. This is going to be very, very exciting. But we jumped into this arc rather quickly, and this can kind of be compared to the sports festival back in season 2, because for the very first episode, we were preparing for the festival to start, and then in the very next episode, we jumped right into it. The same thing is happening with this exam, to where we had one episode with the students preparing, creating their ultimate moves, and then the very next episode, this episode right here, jumps right into the start of the exam, and this is not going to be an easy exam for Class 1A. For one thing, this is usually an exam taken by second years, so they are on the accelerated crash course in actually obtaining these licenses, and it's a good thing that Aizawa is doing this, because they have been constantly being attacked by villains, and they need these provisional licenses. That way, if it does ever happen again, they have these licenses on hand to where they are now legally allowed to fight back, and they don't need to ask permission from Aizawa and any of the other teachers. But obtaining their licenses is going to be the challenge, because the information that we learned about the amount of participants taking this exam is a grand total of 1,540 examinees. That is a lot of people taking this exam, but the first round is going to be weeding out a lot of the fodder to where only 100 examinees can make it on to the next round. They are whittling the numbers from 1,540 down to 100. That is a lot of people that are going to fail the first round. And I know Sue mentioned within this episode that the pass rate is less than 1%. If you actually do crunch the numbers, it's around 6 to 7%. But if you factor in the other rounds to come, there's not a lot of people that are going to be obtaining their licenses, so it basically is a 1% pass rate with the amount of people taking this exam. But in some strange way, this exam is kind of being influenced by the ideology of Stain. I absolutely love the fact that Stain gets brought up within this episode, and even though his character has been removed from the story for the past 13 to 15 episodes, his presence can still be felt, and society is taking note of that ideology. I'm not saying that they agree with him 100%, that he was in the right for going out there and killing false heroes, but they are looking at that and they're trying to change their system so that way they can actually have exceptional heroes passing this exam. They do not want heroes out there that are just in it for the fame, the glory, and the money. They want just the heroes that want to be heroes being able to pass this exam, the ones that are serious. So that kind of right there explains why this provisional license exam pass rate is so low. But now let's talk about the mechanics on how this first round is going to play out. In a nutshell, this is basically dodgeball with superpowers to where you have to be really precise on where you hit on your opponent. Each individual person is going to have 3 targets on their body, and they can place it anywhere as long as it remains visible. So it can't be under the armpit, it can't be under your foot. Every single person participating has to be able to see the targets on your body, and each person will be handed 6 individual throwing balls that they will use to try to light up each of the targets. And if you have 1, 2, 3 light up, you are out of there, you have failed the exam. Better luck next year. But this is going to make things really competitive for everyone going after these points, because there are going to be no assist at all. Once a person hits the 3rd target, that person that ended up hitting it is going to get the point. So basically the scenario is, if one person ended up hitting the 1st target and the 2nd target and was about to go get the 3rd target, a random person can just come swooping in, steal away that 3rd target, can hit it, and they will end up getting the point. And that person that hit 2 of the targets will end up getting 0, flat. No points for that person, and this is definitely going to encourage a lot of swooping in and stealing of points, because in order to pass this first round, you only need 2 points. You need to eliminate 2 people, and then you make it on to the 2nd round. So things are going to get chaotic and very competitive amongst the students, but also amongst the schools as well, because as we can see, a lot of the schools are starting to team up against UA. And it makes a lot of sense that UA would be at a great disadvantage for this exam, because the sports festival put on full display their quirks, their powers, and their weaknesses, and how they fight. All of these other students at these other schools watch the sports festival, analyze all of their movements and their weaknesses, and are well prepared going into this exam because they know how their opponents fight. And it kind of makes you ask the question, how come Aizawa did not give them the heads up that this was a tradition that happened every year at the provisional license exam? But he kind of gives a pretty sound response, talking to Miss Joke, that even if I told them about this, it wouldn't make much of a difference. In the real world, once they become pro heroes, everyone is going to know about their weaknesses and their quirks, so might as well make this a crash course simulating what it will be like as pro heroes. They need to go plus ultra in this moment. They need to take this situation and move it into their favor. And that is exactly what Class 1A does by the ending of this episode. We get to see all of these students using their moves: Deku, Tokoyami, Ochako, Ashido, Mineta, Ida, Momo, Sue, and Toru. Everyone is counteracting all of the balls being thrown at them. And we end off on this epic group shot of the 17 remaining Class 1A members huddled together, getting ready to take on the bombardment from all of the other schools. And that was just an epic way to end off this episode. So that right there basically covers everything that happened with the start of the exam in this episode, but there were other things that we definitely need to talk about because we were introduced to a lot of new characters within this episode, new students, new teachers that go to these new hero schools, but we also had a very cute section with Ochako starting to realize that she has some feelings bubbling up to the surface about Deku. So let's start off with talking about that section because I loved getting to see just our Class 1A ladies hanging out together, talking about how they're working on and refining their ultimate moves. But Ochako is distant from this conversation. She is spacing out and everyone realizes this and they're like, hey, Ochako, are you okay? She begins to apologize because she's thinking about something else. But Ashido was quick on the uptake because she immediately realizes, oh, Ochako, you're in love. Are you thinking about Deku, Ida? You seem to hang out with them a lot. So they were quick to realize what was going on with Ochako, but it was so cute and adorable just seeing how flustered Ochako was. She's trying to dodge the questions. And as soon as she touched her face and she was just floating in the air, it just can't get any more adorable than that. But it's the moment she looks out the window as she is floating there upside down. She sees Deku, the big nerd that he is, trying to refine his shoot style, and he keeps referring back to his notebook. That was such a cute moment because she looks to Deku and likes Deku because he is passionate about becoming a hero, and we will begin to explore more these feelings building up within Ochako moving forward with the future episodes. But all I can say is I need to find a girl that looks at me the way Ochako looks at Deku. But the final thing to talk about with this episode is that we got introduced to a lot of new characters within this episode, and we have a lot of new students that will become arrivals to Class 1A during this exam. We have the students from Shiketsu High and the students from Ketsubutsu High. And the first person that I definitely want to talk about isn't a student, it's a teacher. I'm of course talking about Miss Joke, and it's so nice to see her in all of her punny glory within this episode. But we did actually get a cameo of her back in season 2 during the sports festival. If you go back to the episode when Deku was fighting Shinzo, she's in the audience and she ended up saying it's a shame that they didn't allow Shinzo, who has a very powerful quirk, into the hero courses. So go find her in those past episodes. But this dynamic I have been waiting to see animated between Aizawa and Miss Joke. I love the back and forth with Miss Joke just constantly asking Aizawa, we should go out sometime. Why don't you marry me? Let's go on a date. And she's trying to use her quirk of outburst on Aizawa, but he ain't having it. This is Aizawa's worst nightmare come to life, and he's trying to avoid her at all costs. But I really do like what Studio Bones did with her character when they animated a little sequence actually explaining how her quirk works. That was a very nice touch by Studio Bones. So expect some more punny moments coming from Miss Joke in these future episodes. But now let's move on to talking about some of the students that we got introduced to. And the first one that we meet right out of the gate is Inasa. And this guy is a very passionate and eccentric guy. If you thought Ito was crazy in his mannerisms, this guy is cranked up to a level beyond that. The prime example is when he apologizes to UA for shouting the Plus Ultra. He bows, but he bangs his head on the floor and ends up bleeding from it, yet he's not fazed by that. This guy is very weird, but we come to learn some crucial information about his character because he is a first year just like the rest of Class 1A, but he got accepted into UA via recommendation, much like Momo and Todoroki, but he ended up denying that. Who denies an acceptance letter from UA, the best hero course in Japan and most likely the world? So definitely keep a close eye on Inasa. We will learn more about him moving forward, and we will learn more about the rest of Shiketsu and their students. We got to see the Cousin It lookalike guy, the guy with the purple hair, and we got a brief scene of Kami actually speaking within this episode. But based on the preview, we will get to see Kami in all of her glory next episode. And the last student to really talk about is with Yo Shindo, the pretty boy from Ketsubutsu High, who ends up having this nice guy demeanor earlier on in this episode as he's playing nice, shaking the hands of all of Class 1A. But if you notice within this episode, Bakugo can see past that fake facade that Shindo is putting on. He's like, don't do this. I can see what you're hiding behind that face. And as we see later on in this episode, it really was all a ploy to kind of gain the trust of Class 1A, so that way they would kind of be surprised once all the students just ganged up on UA for the UA crushing. So this guy is definitely playing the game well, but a very interesting note about Shindo that Horikoshi put into the manga for one of his hobbies: this man loves trolling. He loves to troll, and I think that was put on full display as he was basically putting on this facade for Class 1A and hoping to fool them. But with all of that, we didn't really learn any more about the other Ketsubutsu students. We have the blue guy, and we also have the Android 17 Saitama lookalike guy, and also the girl. But we will see more of them in the future episodes. But yeah, that right there is everything that I think I want to talk about review-wise for episode 15 of My Hero Academia. The start of the provisional license exam is kicking off, and I'm just excited for the fun that we are about to go on. So with that, guys, that is my reaction and review to episode 15 for season 3 of My Hero Academia, episode 53 in total. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on this latest episode. What were your positives? What were your negatives? And who was your favorite standout student from the other hero schools? And what are you looking forward to, and what are you hoping to get from this provisional license exam? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. And if you guys want to talk more about My Hero Academia outside of YouTube, feel free to follow me on Twitter, guys, though I do want to warn the anime onlys, I do also talk about the manga for My Hero Academia over on my Twitter, so just fair warning right there. A link to my Twitter account can be found in the description down below. But that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, when we have episode 16 of season 3 for My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.